Did you know your brain is more powerful than the world's fastest supercomputer? Billions of neurons in your head are firing signals faster than any machine ever built, and meaning all at once to create the reality you experience, each capable of connecting with thousands of others. Networks so vast that the total, in the Milky Way, every thought, memory, which is constantly changing through neuroplasticity, and existing ones strengthen. Your brain generates enough electricity to power a small light bulb, consolidates memories and removes toxins, creating experiences that feel real, faster than the blink of an eye. Contrary to the myth that humans only use 10% of their brain, creativity, emotions, and memory, prompting immediate reactions, reinforcing motivation and pleasure, meaning your mind is continuously built by your actions. Memory is not a perfect recording, and emotions are chemical signals designed to guide behavior, emphasizing what matters while filtering unnecessary information, rather than reacting automatically, which prefers familiar pathways, occurs faster when emotion is involved, and predictions from the brain are updated through new evidence. The brain constantly adapts to stress, rewarding small. Understanding this reveals how attention and belief systems shape your brain daily. System that can be guided, awareness and repetition, creating growth, resilience. Right now, processing images, sounds, emotions, your brain contains roughly 86 billion neurons, forming an intricate number of connections exceeds the stars. And decision exists because of this network. New connections form every time you learn, reshaping your brain throughout your life, working continuously even during sleep. When it processes emotions, dreams occur because the brain is fully active while you rest. The brain processes visual information in just 13 milliseconds, which is why first impressions are instantaneous. Almost all parts are active at different times, handling logic. Fear acts as a survival mechanism, while achieving goals releases dopamine. Every thought and habit shapes the brain, attention and environment, reconstruction that changes each time it is recalled. Attention is the brain's spotlight, and awareness allows you to pause and choose responses. Habits are shortcuts that save energy but can trap the brain. Repetition strengthens new patterns while learning. Visualization activates brain areas as if experiences were real, expanding what you believe is possible. Social connection and challenges, consistent actions with dopamine and training itself according to repeated behavior. Focus, emotion, memory, habits, showing that your brain is not fixed but a dynamic, consciously through action. By applying this knowledge, you can train your brain intentionally and capability beyond what you might imagine. Your brain does more than process reality. It creates it. Everything you see, hear, and feel is filtered and interpreted by your brain. Your senses collect raw data, light, sound, vibrations, but your brain turns them into meaning, colors, voices, faces, and emotions. Two people can witness the same event and feel differently because their brains interpret it differently. Your brain decides what matters and what does not, filtering millions of bits of information every second. Beliefs, past experiences, and expectations influence what your brain notices. Thoughts and focus train your brain, while repetition and environment reinforce pathways. Learning reshapes the brain physically. Neurons form connections and pathways strengthen with use, explaining why practice matters and habits form naturally. Emotions are chemical signals guiding behavior. Fear protects, joy motivates, sadness processes loss, and anger energizes action. These chemicals affect heart rate, breathing, and focus, making stress harmful, while conscious actions like breathing, movement, and gratitude improve brain chemistry. Dopamine motivates action, reinforcing small wins and progress. Habits strengthen repeated pathways, and awareness allows change. Visualization activates the same brain regions as experience, so imagination trains the mind. Mistakes are feedback for adaptation. Curiosity keeps the brain flexible. Judgment closes it. Social connection supports emotional balance. The brain adapts continuously, shaping your personality and neural patterns. Every thought, action, and habit reinforces or reshapes pathways. Understanding attention, focus, habit formation, emotion regulation, and prediction reveals that the brain is dynamic, capable of guiding your life intentionally, enabling growth, mastery, and self-control. Attention is one of the most powerful abilities of your brain because it determines what you notice, what you remember, and how your mind develops over time. Your brain cannot focus on everything at once, so it filters millions of bits of information every second and highlights what matters, while ignoring the rest. This spotlight of attention strengthens neural pathways, making repeated focus habitual. Awareness is different from attention. It allows you to notice where your focus goes, giving you control to pause, reflect, and choose responses instead of reacting automatically. The lower brain, responsible for survival, triggers fear, threat responses, and instant reactions, while the higher brain manages reasoning, planning, creativity, and self-control. Stress activates the lower brain, reducing logic and rationality, but calmness, controlled breathing, and mindful action restore balance, allowing the higher brain to regain function. Habits act as energy-saving shortcuts. They save effort but can trap the brain if negative, while repetition strengthens desired pathways, making new behaviors automatic over time. The brain learns faster when emotion is involved. Emotional moments stick in memory because the brain prioritizes meaning over raw facts. Visualization activates similar regions as actual experiences, allowing imagination to train skills and confidence. Predictions guide responses based on past experiences, but can be updated through new evidence, expanding what you believe is possible. Mistakes are feedback for learning, not failure. Avoiding challenges slows adaptation. Curiosity keeps the brain open and flexible, while judgment closes it and restricts learning. Growth occurs at the edge of comfort, where challenges are slightly difficult, forcing the brain to adapt without overwhelming it. Social connection is essential. Humans evolved for survival in groups, so connection signals safety, while isolation signals danger, affecting emotions, stress chemicals, and overall brain health. Small, consistent actions and habits shape neural pathways, reinforce self-image, and influence beliefs. Every thought, decision, focus, and repeated behavior strengthens patterns in the brain, showing that you can consciously guide it toward mastery, resilience, creativity, and personal growth. By understanding attention, focus, emotion regulation, habit formation, social connection, and learning from experience, you begin to realize that your brain is not fixed, but dynamic, capable of adapting to challenges, forming new patterns, and helping you achieve goals far beyond what you imagined possible. Every moment spent in awareness, focus, or deliberate practice is an investment in your brain's future capabilities, meaning that personal growth is not just possible. It is the natural result of how your mind works. Memory shapes your identity and how you perceive reality. Memories are not recordings of the past. They are reconstructions that your brain rebuilds each time you recall them, using fragments, emotions, and meaning, which means they can change subtly over time. Two people can remember the same event differently, and details may fade while emotions stay vivid. Memory is designed to guide future behavior, not to preserve the past perfectly. Forgetting is useful because it frees space for new learning and focuses the brain on what matters. Your sense of self is linked to memory, belief, and experience. When you say, "This is who I am," you are describing brain patterns, not fixed truths. This means identity can change through deliberate action, new experiences, and repeated habits. Emotions are chemical messages guiding behavior. Fear signals danger, joy motivates, sadness allows processing, and anger energizes action. They affect heart rate, breathing, focus, and decision-making. Long-term stress weakens higher brain functions, reducing logic and planning, but practices like breathing, mindfulness, movement, and positive relationships restore balance. Habits conserve energy, but unwanted ones can trap you. Awareness allows change, and repetition strengthens new pathways. The brain learns faster when emotion is involved. Visualization is used, and small, consistent wins reinforce progress. Social connection is vital. Humans evolved in groups, so connection signals safety, while isolation triggers stress. Positive relationships reduce harmful chemicals, increase bonding hormones, and support emotional balance. The brain constantly adapts to experience, challenge, and reflection, forming patterns that determine behavior, beliefs, and identity. Curiosity keeps the brain flexible, while judgment and avoidance limit growth. Mistakes are feedback, not failure, allowing the brain to adjust and improve. Growth occurs at the edge of comfort, where challenges are slightly difficult, forcing adaptation without overwhelming. Predictions update with new evidence, helping the brain expand what it sees as possible. Every thought, focus, habit, and social interaction trains the brain, shaping identity, capabilities, and resilience. Understanding attention, memory, emotion regulation, habits, social connection, and feedback shows that your brain is a dynamic system that can be guided consciously. Each action, reflection, or deliberate practice is an investment in adaptability, making personal growth inevitable when attention and effort are applied consistently. Your brain is not limited to your past. It continuously learns, adapts, and expands. By using awareness, focus, and consistent practice, you can consciously shape it to enhance creativity, intelligence, emotional balance, and the life you desire. Your brain is a living system built for learning, adaptation, and change. Every day it predicts what will happen next based on past experiences, habits, and beliefs, and these predictions quietly shape how you think, feel, and act. What you repeat becomes familiar to your brain, and what feels familiar feels safe, even when it limits growth. This is why people often stay stuck in patterns. Not because change is impossible, but because the brain prefers what it already knows. The truth is that prediction is not destiny. When you introduce new thoughts, actions, and experiences, the brain updates its predictions and expands what it believes is possible. Attention is powerful because whatever you focus on strengthens, while ignored patterns weaken over time. This means attention actively shapes your brain. Your self-talk, habits, environment, and relationships are constantly training your mind. Motivation is created through action, not waiting, because dopamine is released when you make progress. Small, consistent steps matter more than sudden change because the brain trusts repetition. Discipline feels difficult at first because the brain resists unfamiliar effort, but repetition turns effort into ease. Confidence is built evidence stored through experience, not something you are born with. Rest and sleep are essential because during sleep the brain organizes learning, clears waste, and restores balance. Purpose gives direction, reduces stress, and increases resilience. Challenges can be interpreted as threats or opportunities, and awareness gives you the pause to choose growth instead of fear. Over time, repeated choices become habits. Habits become patterns, and patterns shape identity. Your brain is always learning from what you repeat. When you understand this, you stop fighting your brain and start training it. Growth is not about becoming someone else. It is about allowing your brain to do what it was designed to do, adapt, and improve. The same brain that learned fear can learn confidence, and the same brain that learned limits can learn possibility. This is biology, not motivation. Your brain was built to change, and when guided with awareness and consistency, it becomes your greatest strength. Understanding this reveals that the power to change your life has always been inside your mind, waiting for direction,